Yo, what up, y'all? It's Mrs. Zoo Nation, aka Walmart General Giraffe, coming at you with a top 10. Yes, I'm doing a top 10, not a top 5 this time, because this list was hard as hell to make a top 5 out of. So, basically what this list is all the BreakStride units. These are basically all the grade 3 units that have stride abilities. I don't know the official term, if there even is an official term, but we're just going to call them BreakStrides. So, what I'm looking for is BreakStrides that has a decent grade 2 ability, GB2 skill, and a decent on-stride skill. What I'm not going to include, however, is anything that hasn't been released yet, and at the same time, I'm not including Gears of Fate because Gears of Fate hasn't been out in America for that long. It's only been out it came out today. As I'm recording this, it came out today. So, without further ado, I'm Evil Armor General Giraffe, and this is the top 10 BreakStride units in Vanguard. Now, I like Gugrid, especially his GB2 skill. His GB2 skill allowing you to go through a lot of defenses, especially when it comes to guard restrictions. However, I don't like the fact that his GB2 skill interferes with the on-stride skill. Because both the on-stride skill and both the GB2 skill does require a counterblast in order for it to work. GB2 skill being both a counterblast and a soul blast. Now, soul blasting was kind of sort of hard when Gugrid first came out though, but release of Radiant Sword, soul blasting isn't really a problem because you can get your soul just like that. Now, my problem is Gugrid would have been a lot better if he was just a soul blast unit and not a counterblast and soul blast. Because let's face it, if your opponent exhausts all your things and you only have one counterblast left, of course that person is going to make sure you waste that counterblast even if they don't end you that round. So that's basically the reason why he's lower on the list. Big Belly probably revived Great Natures, in my personal opinion. It has a very decent Generation Break 2 and a decent on-stride skill. Give it not 1 but 2 units 4K. And then it also gives them the ability to draw a card if their attack hits and it was over 20k. Which isn't very hard to get in Great Natures. The thing I like about a Big Belly deck is probably the only Great Nature deck that you don't have to run both Binoculus Tiger and Cran Tiger to get full benefits from it. You're basically really running Cran Tiger, not for the boost, although there isn't nothing wrong with overpowered power creep boost, but you're basically running him in there for the restand ability. Especially with the release of Technical Booster 2, Big Belly has become an interesting tech. I mean, basically, there was not one bad unit, Big Belly base unit that came from Technical Booster 2. And even though the Stride version of Big Belly is universal, it's still a hell of a good card. I have to put him low on his list, however, because although he gets the 4K boost and he has decent draw power around him, that's about it. Plus, on a side note, stop mixing up with Chad Noir. I mean, my personal opinion, I feel like mixing Big Belly up with Chad Noir is just slowing the deck down, not doing it better. Now, Grand Gallop, in my personal opinion, is probably a douchebag card. I mean, how much of a douchebag you have to be to, in your Generation Break 2 skill, if you attack with enough power, you get an extra drive check. And then not only that, when you stride on, you instantly get 4K without even having to waste a counterblast for it. So basically, you're going into 31k just for striding. That's stupid. And then he also has the other ability, oh, I hit, so I'm going to counterblast one to draw another card. What the f? But at the same time, I still don't think, as awesome as his abilities are, I don't think he's worth $20. And part of that is because there's better grade 3 Dimension Police. Matter of fact, there are better Dimension Police decks than Cosmic Heroes, in my personal opinion. At the same time, I don't know. $20 for like for one copy of Grand Gallop is too much in my personal opinion. Like, honestly, I think he only cost that much because X Gallop came out, and at the same time, this is going to be probably one of the more hyped up grade 3s that everybody was going for. Now, if he was in the range of 12 to 15 bucks, I would probably be more accepting of it. Maybe like even 10 to 15. I mean, but having them like at 20 bucks a piece, I don't know, man. That's kind of bad. I was trying to find a way not to put him on the list, but at the same time, you cannot be mad at Davis. I mean, he's probably one of the most free units in the list. Now, think about this. His own stride skill allows you to choose up to 3 cards, and your opponent has to choose 1 card and retire it when he attacks on the 4th wave. His GB2 skill is on the 4th wave, yeah, he pluses a crit, and you can't guard with grade 0s. He has a guard restriction, and he pluses a crit just for attacking on the 4th turn. Now, the thing that makes Davis hella good is you don't have the counter blast, you don't have the soul blast, you don't have to discard a card. All you have to do is make sure that his attack is on the 4th or more attack, and you instantly get the effects. Worth it. Worth every penny. And this, the sad thing is, this nigga comes from a trial deck. That's horrible. Then it comes from a trial deck and has one of the most busted abilities I've ever seen. It's just a shame that like he's not really top in tournaments. My only problem is, of course, is if you don't get to the 4th attack, which your opponent is going to exhaust all your resources to the point where you can't get to that 4th attack, then that's where Davis becomes a problem. Because now it's just a vanilla 11k. Yeah. I love Graviel's grade 2 skill. I love Graviel's stride on stride skill. I love Graviel in general. That's a boo. But that's besides the point. The way that Graviel utilizes her on stride skill is hella good because the superior calls a unit from the from the damage zone. Hella good, especially if you have a unit that you need on the field in damage zone. Hella good. Also, especially if you have Nurse a Broken Heart on the field already, you basically gain 17k for striding, and you get a free unit. That's hella good. And then her GB2 skill is she everybody on the front row plus a 2k whenever something hits the damage zone. Hella good. Nurse a Broken Heart 4k instead of 2k. Oh my god, bro. Nurse a Broken Heart is stupid. I mean, all them combos are hella stupid. And again, I love abilities that works on your opponent's turn because there's not too many of them. And this makes very good useful of it. It makes normal attacks. It kind of makes your opponent has to push for normal attacks. That's hella good. My problem, however, is not seeing enough Graviel based decks. Like, every deck now has Graviel no seal, which isn't really a problem, but I would love to see more Graviel, more everything more towards Graviel instead of just her and no seal. Like, I seen somebody like make their place with like a deck with just no seal in it. That was hella good. I actually want to try that out. But with the Graviel thing, it just makes it a little bit more irritating. Especially seeing that Graviel in the first place, I don't even know why she's there. She's just there just to be the secondary, which is sad because she's supposed to be the main. Coming in at number 5 is my nigga, Intimidating Mutant Darkface. What do I gotta say about him other than he is a huge troll? A huge troll when it comes to Vanguard in general. Especially with decks like Spike Brothers, Pale Moon, practically any deck that Superior calls, especially during the battle phase. I mean, I wish he was more of a douchebag to Bermuda Triangles, but of course that's not gonna happen. I mean, his Generation Break 2 skill, like, is the thing that makes Darkface decks, dude. It's hella good. Um, I'm hoping, Bushiroad gives Darkface his own Galadad, and if anybody who doesn't know what Galadad is, it's the one that when you ride into him, you counterblast 2, and you superior call an Alfred card from your deck onto the Vanguard circle, and then call him into the rearguard circle. I would love to see Bushiroad do like a Galahad version of him, man. I mean, get a Galahad version to where you get to rewrite Darkface and then call whatever card that came up there. That's hella good, dude. I hope like Bushiroad does that, but I highly doubt they're gonna do that because they always give Mega Colony the hate, which is stupid that you would hate a deck like Mega Colony, but at the same time you would like give everything for Lean Jokers and Nubatama. Like, I mean, not Nubatama. You'll give everything Lean Jokers and Kagero everything that they fucking need. But again, his GB2 skill is a thing that makes him so fucking amazing. I mean, his on stride skill is alright. You get to plus a card if the unit is still in the field at rest. And you know, nobody's not going to be like, oh, okay, well, let me just, if I bank a stand trigger, let me just like not use this unit at all. Nobody's not going to do that. So you're going to get that plus rather you like it or not. I mean, rather they like it or not. Unless they somehow replace the unit, then that's a whole different story. Or, I don't even know how you say his name. I'm going to just call him Sharat. Sharat, dude. Oh my god. This dude is so underrated for no reason. He has a very good GB2 skill and a very good he has a very good GB2 skill and he has a very good on stride skill, and the thing is both are amazing. The on stride skill allows you to countercharge too, and then you choose your Vanguard, and when your Vanguard attacks, then your opponent has to force retire one of their units. That's hella good. I mean, you don't choose what unit they have to retire, but they still have to force retire a unit. That's hella good. Not to mention, you have his GB2 skill, which if you have 10 or more cards in his soul, he gains 1,000. He gains 10k plus a crit. So basically, if you couldn't stride, you still have some power to go against your opponent with. Hella good. Dude is hella underrated. I don't understand why. Because the dude is in Darky Regulars. Darky Regulars is fucking beast, dude. I would love to use Darky Regulars one day, but you know, it's not on my priority list right now, so I can't really say, oh, you know, this is like the best deck ever. But I mean, dude, what can go so wrong with this ability? This ability is like fucking beast in the mug, man. I don't understand why. Oh yeah, I forgot you do got a counter blast. I'm over here fucking up, dude. But anyway, despite that you have the counter blast, you still get a hell of a good ability, dude. But still, a hell of a good ability. Despite you have the counter blast, hell of a good ability, dude. Hell of a good on stride ability. I mean, you still get to retire your opponent's units. It's worth it. Really worth it. Now, the thing I liked about Messiah was you finally can use something that isn't Star Vader, which was the problem back in the day. Was, oh, you can only use things that was Star Vader. Even though like a lot of clans did that, like Pale Moon did that, Mega Colony did that, Tachikaze did that, a few other clans did that. I mean, so Bushiroad isn't really a stranger to having clans only depend on their subclans, which is a bad thing, and I'm glad that they're fixing everything up to where, oh, you don't need to use Star Vader in order to win tournaments with Link Joker. You can use the Messiah build. And I mean, the Messiah build is a little like confusing to me when I first seen it, because you're locking units, you're unlocking units, and I mean, it kind of sounds straightforward, but in reality, it's not. I mean, I tried the deck a couple of times. It's not really that straightforward. But Alter Ego Messiah, dude, hella good. He's like part OTT, dude. OTT, what you doing, man? You screwing up. You having everybody stealing your stuff. You used to have the best draw power, now you got Messiah with the draw power and Great Nature with the draw power. Man, you're horrible. I don't know why. You supposed to be Mr. Draw Power. What's up, the Oracle? What's up, Oracle Think Tank? What's up? But anyway, I put him at number 3 because he's hella useful, especially his counterblast ability where you have to lock one of your units, lock one of your opponent's units, any gains there's a 5k, so that also puts your Vanguard at 31k on stride. Hella good. You already know what he does. The Generation Break 2 skill and the Stride skill. You counterblast 1 to put a unit back into the deck, and at the same time you put, I mean, he gets a 5k plus, yeah, 5k, you can't block with grade 1s or higher on his GB2 skill. Chrono Jet is such a boring ass card. Understandable. Constantly wins tournaments. See, the thing is, I don't like this unit because he runs Gear Chronicle, and it's like you can't really run a Gear Chronicle deck without Chrono Jet, and that's annoying. Stupidly annoying. And it's one of those things where it's like you kind of want this shit to go away, but it's not going to go away. I don't think we'll ever see a time where Chrono Jet is no longer like the head honcho of the clan. I mean, when the Gears of Fate thing was coming out, and I mentioned this in one of my other videos, when Gears of Fate was coming out, the thing I liked about it was we were starting to see a lot of support from Chrono Tiger. Chrono Fang. We're starting to see a lot of support from like the drones and the Zodiac Time Beast and all this other stuff. It was interesting. But then we got Gear Groovy, and all of a sudden, oh yeah, well, Chrono Jet is now the only way to play this clan. That's retarded. I hate that. I hate that because I feel like the clan should be more, but it's not. It's only Chrono Jet base, and that's stupid. I don't understand why. It's just one of those things that should be looked upon, and it's really not. I mean, yeah, the main character uses it, is understandable, but I mean, the main character was Aichi, and he used World Paladins, and there's different ways to use World Paladins. There's like, what, is there like 5 different ways to use World Paladins, and it's still good. And then the same thing when he went to Gold Paladins. There's still different ways to use Gold Paladins. You got Ezel, you got Liberators, you have Bushy Flames. I mean, you had like a lot of stuff. And then the same thing goes to Royals. You had Altmal, Alfred, Blaster, Saint Blow. I mean, dude. But we cannot get out of this rump of, oh, we gotta use Chrono Jet. That's bad, dude. Really bad. Before I get to my number 1, I like to put some honorable mentions, and I'm going to mention this as quickly as possible. Cezanne was originally going to make it, but he doesn't have nothing outside of his Generation Break 2 skill, so he didn't make it to the list. Yasui was going to make it to the list, but Murakumo kind of pissed me off because I was expecting Murakumo to be a lot more when Technical Booster came out and it had the Shadow Stitch ability, but it hasn't really done nothing at all. I was expecting Murakumo to top at least a couple of tournaments, but it hasn't yet, which is stupid. Vanquisher, when Vanquisher first came out, he was kind of doing something. He was kind of sort of a threat, but like a lot of people don't really use Narukami, and I'm hoping when Set 9 comes out, he becomes way better than Kagero has ever been. I know a lot of people are overhyping him right now, especially since the announcement of VMAX. But he still's not doing nothing. Extreme Battler Victor, he's on here because I don't know. I couldn't really fit him into the list, in my personal opinion. But he would have been on the list if so I couldn't find a reason for Big Belly to be on there. But I had to add Big Belly because he basically revived Great Nature. So I can't really put him off. Yeah, I can't really take him off the list. Harry's kind of the same way. I will admit, Harry got everybody out of the whole Silver Thorn rupt, where everything was Silver Thorn based, but I couldn't really find a reason to put him on the list, despite that he has a decent GB2 skill and a decent on-stride skill. It's not that amazing to me, in my personal opinion. Asha, she would have been on the list because Asha is probably one of my all-time favorite grade 3 units, especially Neo Nectar wise. However, I feel like her on-stride skill takes up too much it takes too much setup because you're required to have another unit on the field and have another unit with that exact same name into the thing once you stride. At the same time, I will give her credit for her Generation Break 2 skill, which can even work on herself, which is very good. But I just cannot add her to the list. Altmal at the same time is kind of sort of in the same ruts. He has a decent Generation Break 2 skill and an okay on-stride skill, but I feel like Altmal is hyped up to the point where he's hyped up more than he's worth. Like, I don't feel like getting the Altmal deck for $200 is worth it, in my personal opinion. I don't know about everybody else though, but I feel like Altmal should be like a lot cheaper. Night Rose, again, another unit where the where the on-stride skill is very good, but the GB2 skill is kind of meh. I like the on-stride skill because it revives a free unit and it gives it 2k. I like it because out of all the units in Grand Blue that revives a unit, it doesn't really cost that much, and it's one of the very few that doesn't require you to put stuff in a drop zone. Then you got Fenrir. I was originally not going to put him on the list at all, but I had to include him because Genesis is actually doing very well this year. The new support that he got from Absolute Judgment is very good, and also, even though you have to give more credit to Wiseman because he's the reason why basically Genesis is getting hyped up and stuff and actually topping tournaments and whatnot. It's a stupid combo, I will admit that, but I mean, Fenrir's still pretty good. He's alright. And last but not least, Blaster Dart Diablo. Blaster Dart Diablo, I hate this unit with a passion. I will admit that. But he does have a decent GB2 skill, which that's basically the reason why everybody uses him. And at the same time, he does have a decent on-stride skill, but it's too situational. Like, the thing is, you only get it off if the unit that you start into has Blaster in his name, Blaster Dark in his name or whatever, but still, I think that's a really stupid unit. And last but not least, I'm sorry everybody, but I have to put Lard on the honorable mentions list because Lard hasn't came out yet, but I do see why people are overhyping him, which is actually good. But at the same time, I feel like despite that he's overhyped, we don't know how far Lard is going to take Shadow Paladins into this. I mean, Lard might actually make Shadow Paladins way better than they originally were. They might actually start topping up more than Gear Chronicles for all we know. But the thing is, he hasn't came out yet. Everybody is just on the hype train for no apparent reason. But it's whatever. Shiranui has been out for nearly a year and has been very ignored, but ever since he showed up on the first episode of Vanguard G Next, everybody and their mama was like, oh, this is like the best card ever, you know, and stuff like that. That's stupid. He pretty much has, in my honest opinion, the best on-stride skill ability, because he not only binds one of your opponent's cards, he also forces your opponent to ditch a card. Very stupid. It gets rid of your opponent's hand advantage very easily, and it also gets rid of your opponent's units with a blink of an eye. All due to one counterblast. His Generation Break 2 skill is kind of like generic like a lot of the other ones. He gains like a plus crit in 5k and whatnot, which is pretty cool, but at the same time, I don't know, it's not really that noticeable. Now, I was going to lower him because of that, but I just feel like, in my personal opinion, his on-stride skill is 10 times better. I like that. His on-stride skill is just so amazing. It's so retarded to go against. Very annoying to go against. And, you know, it causes more problems than you think. At first, you're kind of like, well, this is kind of meh. And after a while, you kind of realize that it is pretty much one of the things you don't want to go against. So that's my list for right now. Did anybody agree with it, disagree with it? How there should have been a unit on the list that I forgot? Anyway, this is Evil Armor General Greffa, and I'm signing out.